What's up, guys? It is Frankie here. The first 2 weeks of this NFL season have been absolutely nuts. What's in store for an encore? Let's find out as we start off our predictions for week 3 here in the 2022 NFL season. We start with the Thursday night games, Steelers and Browns. The Browns are 3.5-point favorites. Pittsburgh coming off a rough loss to New England, where their offense once again did not get much going. Trubisky only had 168 yards, 1 touchdown, an interception. You looked at the running game just couldn't really get going. It's a question of how good is this defense going to be without TJ Watt. Certainly an issue here. Let's hope that, for their sakes, let's hope they can figure something out. But thankfully, as bad as Pittsburgh was here in the first 2 games, they're in, I think, a better position than the Browns, who got absolutely embarrassed yesterday. 13-point lead, 2 minutes to go. It was even less than that. It was like a minute and a half. That has never happened since 2001, that a team has blown that lead with about a minute and a half left with 13 points in the fourth quarter. No team has ever blown that for like 21 years until yesterday when Cleveland decided to give up a wide open touchdown to Joe Flacco. Onside kick, bobble that, and let the Jets go all the way down. Joe Flacco go down the field. Joe Flacco, who has not been relevant in 10 years, they let him march down the field to win the game. Cleveland is in a rough spot right now. Their defense looks like a big mess. A lot of stupid plays they made yesterday. So for that, I'm going to go with Pittsburgh here. I think Trubisky is going to figure out something here. I think there's too much talent on the Pittsburgh offensive side to be able to, they're not going to be just all the way down like this. I think they'll be able to pick themselves up. 3.5 points. I'm liking Pittsburgh here in this game. I think it's a division game, so any weird thing can happen. I'm taking the Steelers to, if not win, maybe cover the spread a little bit here against the Browns. Cover the spread a little bit. All you need to do is just cover it. I think they'll, if not win, they'll lose this game by 3 or less. Give me the Steelers plus 3.5. Texans, Bears. The Bears are 2.5-point favorites. I really don't have much to say about these games. Both of these teams are bad. 2 of the worst teams in the NFL. Yes, if I have to pick, you have to give me the Bears, but there's really much to say about this game. Give me the Bears minus 2.5. Raiders and Titans. The Raiders are 1-point favorites. God, that was a brutal loss for Vegas yesterday. I mean, there were a lot of brutal losses yesterday for week 2. But the Raiders especially, leading 20-0 at the half, and they just let the Cardinals, it is Kyler Murray, so maybe you can give yourself a little bit of a break on that, but they let the Cardinals just march all over them and then fumble the ball at the end of the game. Cardinals run it back to win it. Raiders 0-2 now. Devontae Adams, only 2 catches for 12 yards, and right now it doesn't seem like the Packers miss them that much. We'll see maybe as the season goes along, but Raiders certainly have their issues here as they continue to lose. And you look at Tennessee on the other hand, and Tennessee coming off, they did not play. They're playing later tonight. We're recording this Monday. They're playing this later tonight. So we'll see how they do against Buffalo. But week 1, not a good story. Not a good start for Tennessee as they lose to the Giants here. Derrick Henry did not have a good running game. They only had, they did sack Daniel Jones 4 times, but that was 4 of them were in the first half, so that they lost pressure as the game went along. So questions about both of these teams. Both of these teams have issues. At least here in the first 2. A lot of these teams so far it looks like had problems. But I'm going to roll with the Raiders. 1 point, and I think that they're going to bounce back here. I think we're going to see Derek Carr and Devontae Adams figure something out here. I can't imagine that someone like Devontae Adams is just going to be this bad for this long. I think he'll figure something out. And I think Raiders on the road, I'm liking where they are here in this spot here to come upset against it. Again, this could all change tonight. Tennessee could dominate against Buffalo, and I could sit there and go, oh, never mind, I should have picked the Raiders. But it's Monday night. Don't know how Tennessee's going to play it, so I'm going to take the Raiders. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. I think that's starting to go out the window, but I think they're going to beat Tennessee, or at least in this game. Give me the Raiders minus 1. Chiefs and the Colts. The Chiefs are 6.5-point favorites. Thursday night, that was a big win. Tough matchup against the Chargers, and they were able to pick it up, even though they struggled for a lot of the game. Mahomes was not the Mahomes that we usually expect. He had his moments, but there were a lot. He got bailed out from a lot of interceptions thanks to the refs. 3 backup players scored touchdowns on Thursday. Jalen Watson, Justin Wilson, and Jerick McKinnon. Of course, Jalen Watson with the pick 6 that won the game for Kansas City there. So, Kansas City, obviously, still the better team, still the favorite team, still have Mahomes, still have all that talent. Indianapolis, I'm down on them because they tie Houston, and then they get blown out by Jacksonville. Not an ideal start, and the Matt Ryan experiment here in Indianapolis looks the same as the end of the Matt Ryan experiment in Atlanta. So there's just something missing from this team right now. They're missing guys. They're missing Michael Pittman. They're missing Shaquille Leonard. But the players have not been playing as well as I hope. Frank Wright struggled here with his play calling. Indianapolis just looks like they don't have any answers right now. 6.5 points here for Kansas City. And you still have all that offensive firepower responsible for the Chiefs. You have Kelsey, Juju, and of course Mahomes, who I don't think he's going to look that bad again here. 6.5 points. I'm loving where Kansas City. I think they win this game by at least 10. Their offense does enough here to power through. Give me the Chiefs -6.5. The Buffalo Bills and the Miami Dolphins. The Bills are 4.5 point favorites. The Bills, again, play tonight, so we won't know entirely what happens until then. Maybe I should have waited to predict these games until after the Monday night games, but I felt like, whatever, it's Monday here. People wanted it. The Bills, talk about a statement victory. Most people have this team as the best team in the league. The odds makers would say that. I think most NFL experts would tell you they're the most talented team. They certainly lived up to that against the Dolphins, or the Rams, winning by 21 points, and it was a far from a perfect game. They had 3 turnovers in this game in the first half and still won. 3 straight touchdowns. They were 9-10 on third down. 4th team in the past 50 years to convert 90% of its third downs in a game, which is insanity. That's only happened 4 times in 50 years. But certainly the Bills just lived up to it. They just carved up the Rams defense in those spots. And then, 7 sacks on Matthew Stafford. All around, the Bills just look like they are a freight train. I don't think they're going to go undefeated, but they certainly look like they are the most talented team here. But talk about a statement win for Miami. All the people that talk about Tua, is he for real deal? We have all these questions about him, about his throwing motion. People wonder, is this guy for real? We saw the absolute best of Tua. That was the Tua that all of us fell in love with when we watched the national championship game and he came in the second half. That was the Tua that we all expected. That was the Tua we all saw then. We saw it here in a big way, trailing by 3 scores. 469 passing yards, 6 touchdowns, game-winning touchdown to Waddle at the end there. The fact that he went toe-to-toe with Lamar and won says volumes here. And as good as this was, Tua did have 2 interceptions, but he was able to bounce back because he had 6 passing touchdowns. He made so many great decisions, really navigated the pocket well. Buffalo, the problem for Miami here is that they have to deal with the Bills. That is an issue here because as good as Miami is, and I think we're starting to see what Miami can do if Tua is all the way there, you still have Buffalo to deal with, and I just think the Bills are just too good. So Tua's going to have his performance. Tua's going to have his moments, but he's also going to have his bad moments because Buffalo's going to make him do that. I just think Buffalo, the talent of Buffalo, will be able to result in a win here for the Bills. After I think they beat Tennessee tonight, and I think they will go in and beat Miami next week. Give me the Bills -4.5. The Detroit Lions and the Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings are 7-point favorites. Aiden Hutchinson, talk about a big performance yesterday. 3 sacks, all in the first half of Carson Wentz. Lions offense, talk about a solid performance against Washington. It is Washington, so you never really know. It's Carson Wentz, you never really know. But everybody today, they looked good yesterday. Goff had a solid day. You had Brown, Hockenson, Swift. There's some real good production on that Detroit offensive side. They've scored 35 or more points in each of their opening first 2 games for the first time since 1970. St. Brown, 9 catches, 116 yards, 2 touchdowns, 68 yards on the ground. Real solid day out of Detroit. And then you have Minnesota, and we don't know what's going to happen with Minnesota until tonight they play Philadelphia. We'll see how they do there. They certainly gave the business to Green Bay there, at least in week 1. What was that? 4 sacks of Aaron Rodgers. 100. Justin Jefferson, 9 catches, 184 yards, 2 touchdowns. So talk about a statement win there in week 1 against a great team like Green Bay. You have to go quarterback like Rodgers. I'm not ready to trust them. It is still, we talked about my Kirk Cousins fear. I'm still not ready to totally trust them yet. But even if they win this game, I think it'll be a close game. It's a competitive NFC North game. And I'm starting to buy the Lions. I'm starting to believe in Dan Campbell here. I'm starting to believe in this Detroit team that they'll be able to, if not win this game, make it ultra competitive, make it close. So I think this is going to be one of those games where it'll be a nip and tuck battle. Minnesota maybe wins by 4, but I think the Lions cover. 7 points is a big spread, and I think the Lions are going to cover it here in this NFC North battle. So I think the Vikings win, but the Lions cover. So give me the Lions +7. The Baltimore Ravens and the New England Patriots. The Ravens are 3-point favorites. God, talk about a brutal loss for Baltimore. Talk about a loss that just makes... Lamar was the first player in NFL history to boost a touchdown pass and run of at least 75 yards in the same game, and they still lost. Just the defense there. But you can't really blame Lamar, because Lamar did his job, at least in the first half, at least the beginning of the game. You really just got to blame the defense. Giving up 4 touchdowns and, missing Marlon Humphrey for the last 2 series. Brandon Stevens was inactive. So, yeah, the secondary wasn't all the way there for the end, but God, they just let the Dolphins just march down the field there. So an issue, a tough loss. A couple tough losses yesterday, but for Baltimore especially, that was so difficult to watch. But then you have New England, who talk about an ugly win. They got it done against Pittsburgh. The 44-yard touchdown pass to Nelson Aguilar, which what a catch that was. May have been the catch of the week. I mean, the way he was able to pull that off. You had the Steelers return a muffing a punt. Patriots recover. They ran that in for a touchdown. We dealt with the Mac Jones experiment, which at times good, at times you're like, what the heck is he doing? Steelers dropped an easy interception from him in the second half. So he's got to get better. He definitely has to get better. I'm still major questions about him and whether or not he can take that next step. But for this game here, yeah, Baltimore has Lamar. They're gonna be motivated after that disgusting loss yesterday. I think they're gonna use that to motivation for this game. It's only 3 points, and yeah, New England's offense still concerns about, but Baltimore I have less concerns because you have Lamar. You have somebody as undervalued and as underappreciated as Lamar, and he's in a contract year, as we always remember, so he's motivated. Give me the Ravens here -3 over the Patriots on the road. The Cincinnati Bengals and the New York Jets. The Bengals are 4.5-point favorites. God, what was that, Cincinnati? It's weird them picking Cincinnati in this game, but I'll try to explain it. But God, that loss. You're going up against Dallas, who's got a backup quarterback, and you can't even. Oh God, just nothing from the offense, or at least more than I wanted to. Bengals didn't get into the red zone until the fourth quarter. This is back-to-back bad offensive performances from Cincinnati, and yes, Joe Burrow is going to get killed behind that offensive line. Cincinnati, fix your issue now. You are going to kill this poor man. Look at how they massacred my boy. That is what's going on here with Joe Burrow. How many sacks? So he sacked 7 times against Pittsburgh. He sacked 6 times against Dallas. So much for fixing that offensive line. That is going to be what kills this Bengals team. If they never get back to a Super Bowl, it's going to be that. And so that is an issue here. They're already 0-2. It looks like their season is. It looks like they're suffering a Super Bowl hangover. And then you have the Jets, who pulled off one of the best wins I can ever remember from this team in a long, long time. After Robert Saleh's receipts comment, everybody laughing at him, including me. And then they were down 13 against Cleveland, and I even tweeted at the time, you know what? The good thing about the Jets is they didn't embarrass themselves today. That's why I was happy they didn't embarrass themselves. And then they come in, score 2 touchdowns late. Flacco delivers. Saleh sticks it to everybody for his comment. The players love it. It looks like the players love this guy. It looks like right now in New York we have 2 coaches who are loved by their players, and that is always going to be a big thing. Rex Ryan kept his job, I think, specifically because of that, because the players loved him. Joe Flacco earned the right to still be backup. We'll see. This will probably be the last start of his as Zach Wilson comes in. The Milf Hunter comes in for week 4. So I want to pick the Jets, but I also remind myself almost every time that I expect the Jets, all right, nice win, Cincinnati struggling, maybe this is going to be the upset, then they get embarrassed usually. So for this game, I am taking Cincinnati, and they can't be this bad. They're not 0-2 bad. So I think Cincinnati is going to figure it out. Burrow and Chase, they're going to get the offense going here, at least in this game. I don't know if Cincinnati's going to make the playoffs because they're 0-2, and we know about the teams who start 0-2, that it's not good for them. But if there's any team to do it, it'd be this team. I want to believe in the Jets. I want to believe that they're going to turn it around, but I'm not ready to say the Jets are going to be 2-1 and completely like, oh my gosh, like send me into a tailspin because I cannot imagine a world in which the Jets are 2-1. So for this game, I am taking the Bengals. I think they bounce back here. Give me the Bengals -4.5. The Philadelphia Eagles and the Washington Commanders. The Eagles are 4-point favorites. We, again, won't know what happens with the Eagles until later tonight. They play the Vikings. We have 2 Monday Night Football games, which is weird. Talk about incredible performance in Week 1 from A.J. Brown. 10 catches for 155 yards, setting a record for most receiving yards in an Eagles debut. Jalen Hurts certainly got him the ball a lot, and he delivered. The defense, you have... talk about a bad performance, giving up 35 points to the Lions, although the Lions, we talked about, look a little bit better. Rush defense is an issue. So questions there for the Eagles. Then you have Washington, who, I mean, got blown out by Detroit. Ugly first half, almost. They only get 2 first downs. Issues on defense. Their defense allowed 3 plays of at least 49 yards. They have no running game right now. So Washington has, and the Carson Wentz era looks like it is going the way I thought it would. So 4 points here on the road, divisional game. I'm going to take the Eagles. I think Hurts and Brown and company get it going. I think they take off. I think the running game is solid because, again, Washington has their issues. And I think Philadelphia gets the win here in a nice divisional matchup. And it's a wild division right now. the NFC East is wild. You have the Giants now. You have the Cowboys, who are now all of a sudden a contender. Both these teams got to make a statement here. But I think Philadelphia is the one who gets the win. Give me the Eagles, -4. The New Orleans Saints and the Carolina Panthers. The Saints are 3-point favorites on the road. They certainly got to Tom Brady yet again. It's something, I mean, the Bucs got the win, but they have a way of just getting to this guy. Although maybe Brady's going through some stuff. It could be possible that Brady's going through a lot of personal stuff right now that is just causing him to get all riled up. But Saints defense really got to him. Then you had it starting to fall apart when Marshawn Lattimore got ejected. Offense for New Orleans, it looks like a typical New Orleans offense. Jameis Winston now has a back injury, several fractures in his back, so it doesn't look good here for New Orleans. We're not sure if he's going to play here for next week. He did not look confident with the ball at all. Had a lot of deep passes that he overthrew. Didn't run the ball well. Threw 3 interceptions on 3 straight possessions, including a pick 6. So New Orleans has got problems. Carolina, on the other hand, I expected more. I just figured with Baker Mayfield that we're going to do something here on offense, and no. At least in the first 2 games, they have not been explosive at all. The defense has been good enough, but they haven't had the offense to back it up. Mayfield was 14 for 29, only 145 yards. And we have questions now about Matt Rule. How long is he going to be the head coach for? Because this would be another year where Carolina would struggle here. I mean, they lost like 9 straight going back to last year. So it's not good here for the Panthers. But I think in this game, I think it ends. With all the concerns about Jameis's back, with the problems with the Saints offense, I'm going to say that Baker's too talented to lose again. So Carolina at home, 3-point underdogs. I think the Panthers get the win. I think they pull something out. And the defense stifles whoever it is that New Orleans has under center. Give me the Panthers +3 in this divisional matchup against the Saints. The Jacksonville Jaguars and the Los Angeles Chargers. The Chargers are 7-point favorites. The Jaguars, talk about a stunner. Talk about a stunner against Indianapolis. Really good job by Doug Peterson and company, making great plays. Misdirection. Nice job with a lot, and Trevor Lawrence had a solid day with Kirk and Zay Jones. This was the kind of performance that if you're a Jacksonville fan, you're like, okay, maybe everything's not totally lost. Maybe we can figure out something here. And the defense, what did they have yesterday? 5 sacks, 3 interceptions on Matt Ryan. So I mean, this isn't the 2017 Jaguars, but this was the performance that Jacksonville needed. Chargers just tough loss against Kansas City, the pick 6. Justin Herbert now rib injury. We think he's going to be okay. He's day-to-day. He has a fracture in his rib cartilage. He's considered day-to-day. Let's hope he's out there. If he's out there, I think Chargers win. Just because you're asking me Justin Herbert with a broken rib or Trevor Lawrence, I got to go Justin Herbert. Sorry, Trevor, but you haven't shown me enough yet. I think the Chargers, with the talent they have on offense and defense as well, I think will stifle the Jaguars at home. I think they're going to win by at least 14. Again, as long as Herbert's healthy, I think they have that much talent around him. And I think they'll be able to bounce. They're upset after the way they lost that game. I think they'll bounce back here in a big, strong way. So, 7 points. Love them when I hear from the Chargers. Love them when I see from them in this game, I think. Give me the Chargers, -7. The Los Angeles Rams and the Arizona Cardinals. The Rams are 4-point favorites. Rams won yesterday, but it was ugly. It was not the kind of performance that you would expect from the Rams. It took all the way to the end of the game for them to shut out Atlanta, a game that I feel like should have been over a long time ago, and then along with the loss to the Bills. This is not the ideal start for the defending champions. They spread out the offense a little bit, and look, Stafford completed passes to 6 different players yesterday, so it wasn't all bad. The offense did look a lot better than it did in Game 1, so you have that. But I expected more out of your 10.5-point favorites against Atlanta. You should beat them down better than that. And then you have Arizona with an incredible comeback. Kyler Murray with just some magician-like plays. Some of the 2-point conversion, the late touchdown. He had so many awesome moments in this game, and Arizona's very lucky to have him here. So that was a great, great comeback yesterday. But in this spot, I'm taking the Super Bowl champs, even though, again, they probably should have. They struggled against Buffalo. They should have been better yesterday against Atlanta. They're still Super Bowl champs. The offense is looking really good here with Stafford, Kupp. Again, six players again that Stafford threw to. Allen Robinson, 4 catches for 53 yards yesterday. Had his first touchdown. So I think the Rams offense is going to deliver here against Arizona. Even though Arizona is at home, I think it'll be a fun offensive battle, but the Rams get it done here. 4 points. Give me the Rams. Why not? I'll take the Rams. -4. Falcons and the Seahawks. The Seahawks are 2-point favorites. Blah. Seattle, I trusted you. I actually took that. I was like, wow, Seattle, here we go. Geno, and then, yeah, the Geno experiment ended. Give me the Seahawks, I guess, -2, but whatever. The Green Bay Packers and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Buccaneers are 3-point favorites. Packers, nice win against Chicago last night. They certainly got going with Jones and Dillon. The Jones and Dillon touched the ball 37 times, 237 yards, 2 touchdowns. Green Bay got the running game going great, and of course you had the occasional plays from Rodgers. Although a couple fumbles here in this game, a lot. What was that? Like 2 or 3 fumbles. Not what do you expect from Green Bay? Green Bay has 4 fumbles in 2 games. So they put the ball on the ground 3 times, 2 on bad offensive miscommunication. So there's some concerns there about Green Bay, but as long as you have Rodgers and you have the running game playing like they do, I should feel good about it. Something's wrong with Tampa Bay right now. I think it's really at Brady. I don't know. You saw the way Brady was fighting with Marcus Lattimore. Something just doesn't seem right now. We know about the issues. We've heard about him and Giselle. It just seems like he's not all the way mentally there right now, and I'm wondering if he's regretting coming back. I mean, they did win yesterday. I mean, they are 2-0, so it's not the end of the world. But like both games, Tampa Bay's offense struggled. And yeah, I know that Chris Godwin's out and Julio Jones is out, and so I guess maybe it's just that Tampa Bay has just a lot of injuries. Brady threw another tablet. It just seems like the defense is what's keeping Tampa Bay afloat right now. So yeah, it just seems like the injuries and everything piling up and Brady stuff. It just looks like yeah. Although I will give Todd Bowles credit. Yeah, I wasn't sure he should be a head coach again. The defense is looking awesome. I mean, that's why you have Todd Bowles as a head coach, is because of the defense. The offense is, though, going to be the thing that killed him with the Jets. So I'm going to take Green Bay. I know it's dumb to bet against Tom Brady, but the injuries right now are just there's a problem here with Tampa Bay. The injuries are just wearing down this team, I feel like. I think Green Bay here, with the running game and with Rodgers, are going to come through and pick off the victory. It'll be a fun game because it's going to be Brady Rodgers. It'll always be great. But in this instance, I'm taking Brady. I'm taking Green Bay. Give me the Packers. I'm taking Rodgers. I'm taking Green Bay. Give me the Packers +3. San Francisco 49ers and the Denver Broncos. It's a pick'em. The Trey Lance experiment ended after 2 weeks. Now, how glad are we that the Niners didn't trade away Jimmy G? I mean, my gosh, if they had, this would have been a complete disaster. Thankfully, they didn't. Lance, ankle injury. He's out for the year. It's sad. And now Jimmy G is in a weird spot where the Niners clearly don't want him as part of their future, but they're going to have to stick with him. So, honestly, you could do much worse than having Jimmy G as your backup. You could do a lot worse. So, we'll see how that all plays out here. And for Trey Lance, it's just like, when is this Trey Lance experiment ever going to get started? Because he was not looking good here in his first 2 outings. He was not showing me a lot. Denver, not what I expected either. Russell Wilson has not been the kind of quarterback that I expected from the let's ride kind of guy. He's not been that guy. A lot of stupid penalties, a lot of false starts, delay games, stupid decisions. The offense, there's some. It's just not clicking right now. Russell Wilson is not clicking with this offense the way I wanted them to. So for this game here on the road, you know what? I'll roll with Jimmy G. I'll roll with the Niners. I think that they'll pull this one off. I'll have the Niners. Again, it's a pick'em right now. Maybe by the end of the week it'll change, but I have the Niners in a pick'em, beating the Broncos. Give me San Francisco. The Monday night game, the Dallas Cowboys and the New York Giants. The Giants are 3-point favorites. I am stunned that Cooper Rush was able to pull that off. I am absolutely shocked. Did not expect that at all. But he certainly was amazing. He certainly gave the Cowboys a rush. That was a really bad pun. He certainly gave them a rush in this game. What is he, 27? He completed all late in the game, he completed all 3 of his passes for 30 yards to set up the game-winning field goal. I mean, it was not ideal. I mean, it took like 100, the last 7 drives was 159 yards. So they definitely were good in the first half, and then they slowed down in the second half. Micah Parsons has been awesome. You wonder about, he's on pace for 34 sacks. So that would be a season back record. So I don't think that's going to happen, but goodness, he's been on fire. Then you had the Giants, who their defense has really stepped up. Wink Martindale has been a great coordinator for them, even without Thibodeau and Ojulari, whatever his name is. Leonard Williams leaving on Sunday. The defense has still been awesome. They've been aggressive. They have really shown what they can do here. They've been applying a lot of great pressure. to Baker Mayfield and Ryan Tannehill in the first 2 games. But if I have an issue right now with the Giants, it's their offense. Daniel Jones has not. If you want to believe that Daniel Jones is going to be the quarterback for this team, you need to see more from him, and we've not. He has been a major reliability. He's just mid. He's just average. At least in the first 2 weeks I've seen, he's not been able to be the kind of guy. He'll have his occasional throws, but he's not consistent enough. The offense isn't really able to get enough going here. And look, I'm happy the Giants are 2-0. I'm ecstatic. First time the Giants are 2-0 since 2016. I can't remember the last time there were 2 games above 500, but I guess that'd be the end of 2016. But I'm loving what I'm seeing from this team. I love what Brian Daboll's done. But if this team is going to be reliable going forward, I got to believe more in the offense. And if I was originally going to pick Giants to win this game. But then I saw what Cooper Rush did, and maybe I'm buying too much in one game. But I was like, you know what? I'll take Dallas. I'll take Dallas plus 3. I want to believe the Giants are going to win. I so badly want the Giants to pull this off, to get to 3-0, and have you think, all right, maybe they can compete for the division. But the offense is still a major red flag for me. Haven't seen anything from Jones or much. I mean, Saquon kind of took a step back. It's just the offense is not where I want it to be here after one game. I mean, there was a lot of dead stretches there against Carolina. So I'm going to take Dallas here. I'm going to take them to cover the 3. I like the Cowboys here in the spot. And you know what? Cooper Rush, why not? And I also think Micah Parsons is just going to run all over Daniel Jones. So give me the Cowboys plus 3 here on Monday night. That's it for now, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're new to the channel, like to see, make sure to subscribe down below. I'll be back next week with my Week 4 predictions. Take care, and God bless.